there is an Isser D'Oraisa all the time for a man to dress up like a woman, for a woman to dress up like a man. Isser D'Oraisa says before in the Torah you're not allowed to do that. And the Ramah in Hilchos Megillah, Tov Reish Tzadik Vav says, Gever loivesh simlas isha v'isha kli gever, that on Purim, a man can dress like a woman and a woman can dress like a man. Ein iser b'davar, and the thad aser me'achar she'ein mechavnin ela l'simcha ba'alma. And the reason why it's mutter is because my kavanah is only for simcha. I'm not sure what's so simchadik about dressing up like a woman, but I guess it makes people laugh. That's the simcha, if it does. You look at the other poskim that argue with the Ramah, and they say, what's funny about it? Nothing so funny that, but you should do it. But my question is, if there's an Isser D'Oraisa to dress up like a woman, so what makes it mutter? Because Ela B'Shum Simcha. Is that, how does that matter an Isser D'Oraisa? Because you don't eat treif on Purim, Ela B'Shum Simcha. What is the matter of the D'Rabbanan of Purim, of Simcha, the mitzvah of Simcha, over an Isser D'Oraisa? So you have to say that the pshat is that in order to be over the Isser D'Oraisa of cross-dressing, dressing a man dressing like a woman, for instance, it has to be with the kavanah to disguise yourself. Like I'm trying to look like a woman, so I can be amongst women and they'll think I'm a woman. But if your kavanah that the Ramah is saying here is if your kavanah is b'shum simcha, so it means b'dafka you have a different kavanah. Your kavanah is not to disguise yourself as a woman or a woman like a man. Your kavanah is for simcha. And once your kavanah is different, that's the kavanah which creates the isser. So it seems to be. Therefore, others argue with him. Many argue with this Rabbah. The Rabbah took this from one of the Rishonim, and I saw in a sefer that the reason he took this really das yachid is because he saw everybody was doing that. That was the minhag one time to dress like men dressing like women dress like men on Purim, that he wanted to be matzdik it. He says, hey, this b'davar, it's okay. He was matzdik the door, but the truth is, Rishonim are very, very strict about this, and just because it's for simcha, that doesn't make it mutter. It means that according to these Rishonim, it's not about my kavanah to disguise myself. That's not the problem. The real problem is that there's simply an Isser D'Oraisa for me to put on women's clothes. Tosfos says that if you do one thing that women do, even though it's a woman's thing, it's not an Isser. Tosfos and Avodah Zarah, and his example is that you're allowed to look into a mirror. Even that's a woman's thing, at least it was in those days, to look into a mirror. But a man's allowed to look into a mirror if it's l'toela. So says the Tosfos, meaning like if you're taking a haircut, you don't want to cut your ear off or something like that. So you're allowed to look into a mirror. Otherwise, you don't. By the way, many people today, Hasidim, don't look into a mirror on a Yevazeh because so much gaver. But I think most people do. But Tosfos says that if you do one thing, so it means even though if it's a number of different ways here. If the Isser is to disguise yourself, obviously you're not disguising yourself. If there's like an Isser Chefza to put on a woman's garment, like even one garment, so then that'll be Usser. Tosfos says one garment is not Usser, but Haraya, you're allowed to look into a mirror. That's what the Poskim bring. I got like the Chachmas Adam, which I can't find here. Chachmas Adam in Siman Sadik, he writes that it's usher for a woman to carry a gun, a rifle, because that's dressing up like a man. So obviously these things change with the culture of the generations, but that's what he says. Even one garment, kilu, if it's a garment, is usher, like so much garment. The Mishnah Berurah, the psak here, says the Mishnah Berurah, Kosav Ayin Biur Deis Siman Kuf Pei Beis writes on the Ramah. Shekasav Shab Hataz B'Shem Habach. The Taz says in the name of the Bach, Sheyesh Levato Minhag Zeh. You should be Bevato. We should not do this any longer. In other words, we should not be knowing like this Ramah. Men should not dress like women on Purim. Heid b'Purim, whether it's on Purim or b'Simchas Nesuin, I guess at weddings people do this. V'chein kasav beragoyla sham, and that's what the beragoyla in Yeridea says also. The Ber Hativ right here, just for your further iyud, really brings a list of acharedim that are very, very against it. It's the Yetzer Hara, it's a Mesa Sutton, one shouldn't do it, it's a Kabbalah wrong. Everything's wrong with men dressing like women, he says. But the Mishnah Berurah says, Im kolam abushim shalish. This is really based on that Tosfos I just told you. If everything you're wearing is man's clothes, male clothes, so there's no issue of disguising at all. Rak malbush echad shalisha. You're wearing one piece of women's clothes, and it's for simcha. Vini karim heim, and it's obvious that you're a man. Efsher, says the Mishnah Berurah, she'ein limchais bohem. So that would mean, for instance, like let's say I come to shul on Purim and I'm wearing my regular costume, which I wear every day, every Shabbos. But let's say I'm wearing also some high heels. See, it's simple just thinking about it. so according to Mishnah Berurah, ein limchais behem. Nobody should say a word. Ein limchais behem. However, ein mekneses hagdoilu v'shlosh yizhiru laharchik mezeh. And they say don't even do that. Laharchik mezeh. So we have this madrega psak halacha where on the one hand, if it's one beged, a limchais, the Mishnah Berurah says, you should leave the person alone, don't get involved with it. But for the person themselves, they have to know, sheish laharchik, we said this is not the way to go, this is not the right thing to do. And we men should dress like men and do other things for simcha, not the high heels. Yeah.